Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kelly Martin Yoga. It's Sunday Yoga, yay! Okay, being a little goofy this morning. I am glad that you decided to join me this morning. I miss all of you from the studio. I'm hoping we get back soon. I'm optimistic that we'll be back in about a month and a half. Fingers crossed. Um, I got one request today to do some twists, so we'll incorporate that into our practice today. If you ever have something you want to work on or you want me to incorporate into our Sunday practice, just shoot me a message. You can send me if you have my cell, send me a text. You can send me an email. You can send me a message on Facebook, a message on YouTube, like however you want to get in touch with me. And I'm happy to incorporate whatever you feel like you need into our practice. We're going to continue these live streamings every Sunday until we get back into the studio. And it'll always be at 10:30 on Sunday mornings. And if something changes, of course, I'll shoot you guys a message. I'm trying to think what else. Getting all my housekeeping stuff out of the way. I'm still doing Tuesday morning gentle yoga at 9 a.m. And we're doing that from a chair. So if you have someone in your life who has limited mobility, it is a class that'll be accessible to them. And even for yourself, if you're like, you know what, I'm just getting up this morning, want to just ease into my day, it's a good way to start your day as well. I'm trying to think. It's gloomy outside, but it's supposed to warm up, so yay for us here in the Midwest. Let's get started. Nice, comfortable seated position, everyone. And we're going to ease into the practice today. I think the theme is going to just be moving with ease. I'm not going to do a lot of strength building stuff today. We'll do a lot of twists and a lot of stretching. So let's just go ahead and soften into our seated position. Go ahead and drop your chin down and soften your eyes. Get a nice little gentle stretch to the back of the neck. I'm just going to pause here. And then go ahead and soften the hands down in front of you. Spread the fingers out now, nice and wide, keeping the chin tucked, and then dropping your head down just a little lower. Let's go ahead and walk the hands out. As you walk them out, you'll start to feel a gentle stretch in your hips. And then I'm going to soften my elbows, put a nice little bend to the elbows, head comes down. Pausing here. And then pressing up into the hands first, straightening out the elbows. We're going to slowly walk the hands in as we lift up. Let's go ahead and bring our hands to our heart so we can set our intention for our practice. Whatever brought you to the mat this morning, let that be your intention. And again, we'll soften the head down. And we'll take a cleansing breath to get our bodies nice and relaxed. Big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And repeat one more time. Big inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. And then I'll slowly lift my head. Nice. And then on your inhale breath, let's lift those arms straight up in the air. And then exhale, we'll lower them all the way down. Again, today it's going to be moving with ease. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, slide your hands to your heart. And then we'll repeat with our inhale, lift. And this time, exhale, lower halfway. Arms are out nice and wide. Let's spread the fingers and reach, elongating our spine. And then on your next inhale breath, I want you to take and twist to the right, dropping your left hand to your right knee, fingertips behind you, head turns towards your shoulder, our first twist. Keeping the hands in place, go ahead and bring your head all the way forward. Pausing here, chest is lifted. And then we're going to bring the hands to Namaste first and twist all the way back to the front. And then inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower halfway. And again, spread those fingers out nice and wide, reaching those hands, reach, 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 reach. And a big twist to the left, dropping your right hand to your left knee, fingertips behind you. So I want you to have spider fingers here. So pressing those fingertips in. And then go ahead and actually keep the hands in place. Twist all the way back to the front. And then bring your hands to Namaste and come all the way back forward. Let's go ahead and relax the hands. Bring them to your knees. Gently shift your pelvis forward, dropping your shoulders down. Let's turn our head all the way to the right. Nice easy stretch for the neck. And then bringing your gaze back forward. And then turning your head all the way to the left. And bringing your gaze back forward. And then soften your hands down. And dropping once again. This time as you walk your hands out, you probably can go a little bit further because your body is starting to warm up. And let's keep the elbows nice and straight this time. Spread those fingers out. Really reach, 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 reach. And then walk the hands halfway in and soften your elbows. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. And then folding. Elbows are bent. And then we'll press into the hands and walk the hands out. You should feel a stretch in your hip. You might feel a stretch in your side. So we're getting a nice little twist here as well as a hip stretch. And then walk the hands in. And then we'll come back to center. We're still folded. We're going to go over to the left side this time. Elbows are bent first and then stretch those arms out. And then go ahead and soften the hands down. And then pressing up, coming back to center. Let's go ahead and untwist and make our way into a tabletop. Taking your time here. Knees are going to be hip width apart. Hands are going to be right underneath your shoulders. Fingers are going to have good contact with your mat. So I want you to look down at your fingers. You want to make sure pointer's going straight out. Your thumb and pinky have good contact with your mat. And your weight is slightly shifted forward because you don't want to put unnecessary weight on your wrists. And then on your inhale breath, go ahead and drop the chest down and look up for your cow pose. And exhale, rounding for a cat. Inhale, drop the chest. And exhale, rounding. Let's pause at neutral. I need to make a slight adjustment with my hands because I think my arms are too close in. And then we're going to repeat. Drop the chest and look up for a cow. But this time as you exhale for your cat, I want you to tuck the toes, press the heels of the hand into the mat and lift your knees. And then soften the knees back down. We'll flatten out the tops of the feet. And rounding back up for a cow. And one last cat pose, chin towards the chest. Let's go ahead and tuck our toes, press the heels of the hand in, and lift. Let's soften the knees down, flatten out the tops of the feet, and let's pause right here in a nice neutral position. Let's take and come down on our elbows. And then we're going to tuck the toes once again. Lift up the hips. We're going to go for a dolphin here. Easy stretch to the back of the legs. Let's pedal the knees. And then soften the knees down. Pressing up into the hands. We're going to walk them back into underneath our shoulders. Let's go ahead and lift the right arm up. And we're going to thread it through but not come down on the shoulder. Palm is facing up, pressing the heel of the left hand into your mat. Getting a nice, again, we're twisting our body. So getting a nice stretch in the side body. Go ahead and lift that arm up and soften down. We'll do the same thing on the left side. So that left arm goes up. We thread it through. The palm is facing up. Body is slightly twisted here. And then we'll soften the hand down. Let's tuck our toes this time and get a stretch in our back. Let's walk the hands forward. Sail the hips back. Forehead goes towards the mat. A nice little puppy pose here now. Good stretch to the back, stretch to your shoulder. Forehead is really softly grazing the mat. You don't want to press your head in too much. It's nice, easy stretch for your back. Pressing up, walking the hands back in, flattening out the tops of the feet. Let's go ahead and get a nice little hip opener and twisting our body in the process. Let's go ahead and stretch the right leg back. We're going to sweep it over to the right side, resting on the side of the foot. We're going to press the left hand into the mat. Right arm is going to go straight in the air. And then we're going to twist by taking that right arm, bringing it all the way to your hip, opening your shoulder. We'll lift up that right arm and place it back down. Let's lift up the leg and sweep it back. We're going to pause here. Toes are pointed. Go ahead and bring the knee in all the way towards the chest. And now let's angle it towards the left elbow. Bringing the knee back forward and planting it down. And let's reset your table. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. Left leg is going to stretch straight back. We're going to sweep it over, resting on the side of our foot. Go ahead and press the right hand into the mat. Left arm goes way up in the air. Then we'll twist it by taking it all the way around, resting on our right hip, shoulders open. And then go ahead and lift up your left hand. We'll place it down. Lift up the leg and we'll sweep it back. Toes are pointed. Then bring that knee all the way towards the chest. Let's angle it towards the right elbow. Bring it back out and reset. Let's go ahead and tuck our toes. Walk the hands slightly forward. Let's lift the hips for a downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and do a nice little easy pedal to the legs. And then press the heels towards the mat. Stretching those arms out. And we'll come up on the tiptoes. Press back towards your heels. Let's walk the feet in. Let the big toes come close to touching. And let's lift that right leg up and open the hips, taking that leg to the side. You can move your head here if that feels good. And then rotate it back down. We'll do the same thing on the left side. And you may have to adjust yourself because I'm going pretty wide with this downward facing dog. Left leg goes up. Opening up that hip. And again, you can move your head here. It's all moving with ease today. Plant the foot back down. Move towards the hands and roll forward. Soften the knees. And then we'll lower the chest all the way down. Elbows come down. And we're going to rest on the elbows. We're going to roll the thighs in. Toes are pointed. This is a Sphinx pose. Now you may feel this in your low back. And if it's too intense, you can open the legs a little wider. And it takes some of the pressure off the low back. So just kind of play with that. See what your body needs. Let's slowly lift up that right foot. Bring it towards your bottom. And then soften back down. We're going to do the same with the left. And bring that foot up towards you. And then soften it back down. We're going to lower the chest down. Hands are going to come to either side. Tuck the toes. Elbows are going to come in. We're going to press up. High plank. Rolling back. Downward facing dog. Nice little easy pedal to the legs. This time we're going to look towards our hands and we're going to walk forward, crawling our way all the way to the front of our mat and pausing into a forward fold.
Nice softness to the knees here, so you don't need to have the knees completely straight. Arms are nice and easy along the sides of the feet. Then you can sway your hips here if that feels good, or you can hold in place, up to you. And then let's go ahead and pause and rise halfway up. Rotate the shoulders open, planting the hands on your shins. You can keep the hands hanging if that feels better for you. Nice softness here, so nice softness to the knees. You should feel this right here in your hamstrings. If you don't feel it at all, straighten your legs a little bit more. That means your knees are bent a little bit too deeply. And then fold forward. Let's roll up to standing, taking our time, nice and easy. And then go ahead and lift up, nice and long, stretching those arms. And then let's open them nice and wide. Take your gaze up, welcome some sun energy into the body. And then we'll bring the hands back to Namaste, walking back to the front of my mat, and then I'm going to float back down. I'm going to release the hands down, and we're going to step the right foot back, and then slowly rise. Arms are going to come up, and then we're going to straighten that front knee, and then soften back down. And straighten the knee. Pausing, and soften. Let's fold forward. And then stepping back forward, back into a forward fold. This time step the left foot back. Back toes are engaged here. Pressing the right heel into the mat. Slowly rise. Arms go straight up. And then straighten that front leg, really reaching. And then soften back down. Now let's reach up once again. And then we'll soften. Let's go ahead and fold back forward. Stepping forward, forward fold, rolling up to standing. Let's lift those arms up overhead. Really reach, 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 reach. And then hands to Namaste and slide them to your heart. Let's take a standing twist. Let's go to the right. Let's open the arms nice and wide. Engage your fingers here. Keep them open. Open and close the fingers. And then flip the palms. Bring them back into Namaste. Twist all the way back to the front. Let's go to the left. Open the arms nice and wide. Reach, reach, reach those fingers. And then open and close the fingers. Go ahead and flip the palms. Bring them back in and Namaste. Back to the front. Let's soften the arms down and just shake everything out. And let's go ahead and lift the right arm up. This is going to be different from what we've done in class. I don't think we've done this. Go ahead and soften the left hand on your left hip. And then rotate that right arm all the way back. Take your gaze with you. And then lifting that arm, gaze follows. Bring that arm forward and soften it down. Soften the right hand on the thigh. Left arm goes way up. And then as you reach back, take your gaze with you. And again, getting a nice twist here in your body. And lifting the arm up. Taking your gaze with you. And soften your hand down. And go ahead and shake it out. One of the other requests I got earlier in the week was to continue to do things with our hands. And I'm planning to do a video for this. And what the request was, I had said, I want to, open and close your fingers. Well, you can do this as I'm talking. And then wave your hands back and forth. And this, because we're on our devices now more than ever, computers and iPads. Let's make some circles with the wrists. Your phone, whatever it may be, and then the tension we're putting in our hands and our wrists, we just need to make sure that we're releasing that tension. Go ahead and reverse the direction. And so I'm planning to do, probably in this next week, I'll do a video on just things we can do to release tension in our hands. Let's wave the hands up and down here. And this is things you can do. You don't have to go to a yoga class to do these things, but they're really important for your hand health. One of the people that I know from my gym was having really bad problems with carpal tunnel. And these are just things you can do to help avoid that. Let's go ahead and shake everything out. And we'll incorporate a few more within this practice today before we close out. Let's go ahead and come into a nice mountain pose. Feet are going to be less than shoulder width apart. I'm going to exaggerate here. So I want you to shift so that your knees are pointed forward. Your spine is elongated. Your pelvis is straight instead of butt or forward. You want everything to be nice and straight. And then go ahead and soften the hands down. Nice and easy. And again, today is all about moving with ease. Let's take a nice another cleansing breath. And then on your inhale, let's lift those arms up. And then let's slide the hands to our heart. Let's bring our right foot into our kickstand position and we'll start transitioning into some balance postures. Go ahead and slide the foot to up underneath your knee and then open the hip. Now, if you have a practice where your foot comes to the top of your thigh, you can go ahead and do that, raise that foot up. Or if you're like, you know what, my balance is off, just keep the foot planted right in a kickstand position. And then go ahead and soften the foot and shake out your arms, shake out your legs. Back into your nice mountain pose. Everything's nice and straight. I'm pressing into the four corners of my feet so my weight is evenly distributed. And then on your inhale breath, let's lift those arms up. And exhale, we'll slide into our heart once again. This time we'll bring the left foot into kickstand. Right leg's nice and strong. And then go ahead and slide that foot to up underneath your knee. Let's open the hip, turning that knee out. We're pausing here. And again, this is that point where you can pull the foot up if that's part of your practice, or you can keep it right on the floor, whatever you feel like you need today. And then we'll go ahead and soften the foot, soften our hands, and we'll shake it out. We're going to go ahead and lift up our right leg, bring it forward, bring your hand to the inside. We're going to rotate the hip open, and then we'll roll it back in. And then rotate it open, and roll it back in. Go ahead and soften the foot, shake out your legs. We're going to do the left side, so go ahead and lift up that left foot, balancing on that right leg, and open the hip, and lift it and rotate it back in. And we'll repeat opening the hip, and rotate it back in. And then soften your foot and shake it out. Let's go ahead and, let's open our feet into a wide position. We're going to have the toes pointed forward. Pelvis is going to be straight down. Now put a slight bend to your knees. Press your bottom back and fold forward. Try to keep the back nice and flat. And then we're going to soften the hands down. Pausing here. Let's go ahead and walk the hands through. Now, it's important here to go ahead and keep that little slight bend to your knees, because as you walk the hands through, you're going to start to feel this more and more on your hamstring. Then we're going to flip the palms, pausing, and then flipping the hands, bring them back to center. We're going to go into another twist. We're going to start by going to the right side, walking both hands to the right. We're going to hold on to our ankle with our left hand. Our right hand is going to come to the low back. Here's the twist. We're going to go look towards the right shoulder. Go ahead and soften the shoulder down. Soften your hands, and we'll walk them back to center. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. Bring your right hand to your ankle, left hand to your low back. Here's our twist, looking towards the shoulder. Go ahead and soften the shoulder, soften your hands. We'll walk them back to center. This time I want you to walk the hands forward. Your weight is going to shift towards the front of your feet. And then drop your head down. You can move it side to side if that feels good. And then lifting your head, pointing straight out. And then drop the chin down once again. Let's walk the hands back in. Then we're going to bring the hands to the waist and rise halfway. I want you to pause here. Then rotate those elbows back, opening up the shoulder. Head is pointed straight out. And then we'll slowly lift up. And dropping your hands and stepping in and shake out your legs. We're going to make our way back to the mat, but we're going to do that by going into a squat position first. So go ahead and open the feet. Bring your hands down. Now, if your feet are flat on the floor, bring the elbows into the inside and go ahead and press. If you're up on your toes, you can do the same thing, but you may not be able to press open quite as much. And then just gently rocking side to side, getting a nice stretch in that inner thigh. And then I'm going to soften my way down onto the mat and stretch out the legs. Nice. And then let's go ahead and pedal the legs once again. And let's open and close the hips, opening and close the legs. And now let's add our ankles and our feet. Just rolling the feet, rolling the ankles. And again, moving with ease today. We're not going to force any postures. We're not doing any strength building postures. We're just, stretching out our body. Hopefully feeling good in your body today. And let's go ahead and soften the heels down. Pull the fleshy part of your bottom out so you're nice and grounded. Back is straight. Let's go ahead and rest your hands on the front of your thighs. Rotate the shoulders and press the chest forward. You should feel your thighs activate when you do that. And then go ahead and soften. And then once again, back is straight, pressing the shoulders back. And then go ahead and soften. Let's open the legs into a wide leg position now. Heels down, toes are pointed up. And then we're going to soften down, resting on the elbows. And if you don't rest on your elbows, you can always stay pressed into your hands. And here comes my little dog. She likes to be a part of the practice. Hi. Softening down. Please stop licking me. And turning your head to the right. Bye, Penny. Bringing your gaze back down. And turning your head to the left. And then bringing your gaze back down. Now notice my heels are down and my toes are up. And so I'm getting an engagement in my legs. If this is too much, you can always let the feet just kind of plop. Let's go ahead and press up into the hands. And then we'll rise. In our seated position, I want you to take and make sure your knees are pointed straight up before you reach for your right foot. We're going to take another twist by bringing the left hand to the low back. We're going to slowly turn towards that left shoulder. Now, if you're not reaching your foot, placing your hand on your leg is perfectly fine. You can still get that twist. Notice the shoulder just goes back and the sides of your body twist into this. Then drop the shoulder first and we'll rise and come back to center. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Go ahead and stretch out towards your foot. Right hand to the low back. And then slowly twist towards that right shoulder. And then releasing the shoulder, head comes back forward, come back to center. And she's back, and the legs come out, and let's go ahead and pedal up and down. It's funny, I have two dogs, but only the little one likes to come into when she sees my yoga mat out. Let's open and close. Once again. And this time, let's go ahead and bring the feet into a butterfly. Now, you can be in a butterfly with the legs close. You can have them farther away. You can have them right at center. Kind of play with it and see what feels good. And then we're going to bring our hands to the top of our feet, and then we're going to flap our wings. You don't have to be aggressive with this. It's just nice, easy flapping. Just loosening up. And then we're going to pause. Elbows are going to come out. And then we're going to fold here. Now you can either drop the chin, drop the head, Or you can keep the head up and point it straight out. It just depends on what feels good. This is your practice. There's no one way to do any of these postures. There is a tradition, but then the posture is going to look different for each one of us because our bodies are different and we're coming at our postures at different times in the day, different times in our life, whatever it is. So be gentle with yourself. And then we'll rise up. Let's go ahead and stretch those legs back out. And then once again, up and down with the knees. This time we're going to soften the right knee down. And we're going to take the left leg down. We're going to cross the right leg over. And then we're going to bring our chest towards our thigh. Go ahead and hug the knee with your right arm. Take those left fingertips behind you. And then press the fingertips into the floor, lifting up the chest first. And then slowly turn your head towards your shoulder. And then bringing your gaze back forward, bringing the arm, and let's go ahead and lift. And as you lift, go ahead and move the leg back and forth and up and down. Again, loosening up your hip joint and moving with ease. You don't need to force anything. And then go ahead and soften the foot down. Let's go ahead and do the left side. Bring the left foot up and we're going to cross it over. We're going to give the knee a hug with the right arm. I'm losing track of which direction I'm going. Bring the left fingertips behind you. Take a twist to the left. And then come back forward. And then we'll go ahead and lift up that foot. And then once again, we'll move it back and forth. And you can move it up and down. You can make some circles. Whatever feels good for you. And go ahead and stretch out your leg. And then we're going to position ourselves on the center of our mat. We're going to place our feet flat on the floor. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. But I want you to gently roll down. I don't want you to just force it down. Taking your time. And then once your head lands, feet are still flat on the floor. You're going to press the hands into the mat. And we're going to lift the knees up. We're right in a tabletop. Press the heels down. Toes are pointed straight up. And we're pausing here. And then soften the feet. Go ahead and bring the knees towards the chest. Let's wrap the arms around and give them a gentle squeeze first. And then rolling your back side to side. And then we'll make some little circles here. And then reversing the direction. It's a little massage for your low back. And then we'll pause at neutral. Let's go ahead and open those arms up into T position. We're going to take the knees all the way to the right side. And then slowly turn your head towards your left arm. You're going to grab your right arm and bring it on top of your hip. And you're going to gently pull your left hip towards the right. If that feels too intense, just soften the hand. You can bring it further down on your leg and just rest it. And as you pull that hip forward, notice the stretch you're getting in the side of your body. And then we're going to release our right arm back into T, and we're going to turn our head to center. Lift up the right leg, bring the top leg, bring the bottom one with you, and we'll pause here. Keeping the arms out in T, palms are flat on the floor. And then you're going to take the knees all the way to the left side this time. Taking your gaze to the right. Left hand comes to the top of your right hip and gently pull that hip towards you. And then go ahead and soften the hand back down. Let's lift up the top leg, bring the bottom one with you. Bring those arms in, give those knees a hug, This time, let's go ahead and just make some little circles with the ankles. You can wiggle the toes if that feels good. Now at your back, you can roll your low back side to side. Back to our original, moving with ease, stretching out your body, doing what feels good. And then let's go ahead and pause here. We're going to bring the hands to the back of the head, elbows out. And let's go ahead and stretch out that right leg and keep your head down. You don't need to lift it today. And then bring the knee in and we'll switch. We're going to bicycle the legs a little bit. And then switch. And switch. And switch. Bring both knees back up. And then plant the feet down. Let's go ahead and soften the hands next to us. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. And let's go ahead and gently press it open and get a hip opener. And then soften your hand. Lift up your left foot, bringing that right knee towards you. Then thread the hands through the center, holding onto your thigh. Go ahead and stretch that leg out in the air. And then I want you to rotate the leg so that the knee is pointed towards you. And then go ahead and gently press the heel of the left leg towards the sky. And then point the toes. Soften the foot in a neutral position and we'll pause. And then go ahead and relax your hands down. We're going to bend that left leg. We're pausing. Now you should feel your core muscles are activated. It shouldn't feel too intense, but you're like, you know what, my core's doing something. And then we're going to lower the foot all the way back to the floor. And then we'll uncross that right foot. And we'll do the same on the left. So we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee and gently press open. And then we'll go ahead and soften our hands. Pressing the hands into the mat, go ahead and lift up that right foot. And then thread the hands through, holding onto the right thigh, and stretch out your leg. And again, rotating your leg so that your knee is pointed towards you. And then we'll slowly press the heel towards the sky. And then pointing our toes. And then go ahead and stop at neutral. And then we'll go ahead and bend that leg. Release your hands. And we'll pause here for just a breath or two. And then we'll slowly lower that foot to the floor. And then we'll uncross. Planting the feet flat. Let's lift those arms up overhead. Let's stretch out the right leg and then stretch out the left. Nice full body stretch. Let's go ahead and bring the arms back next to us. Hi, you're back. And then we'll walk the feet back up. And bring our knees up towards our chest once again. Let's stretch the right leg in the air. And stretch the left. And pet your dog if she comes next to your mat. And if not, stretch the arms straight up in the air. It's too much licking. And then let's open and close the fingers. And then let's make a fist and make circles with the wrists. And reverse the direction. And then let's open the hands nice and wide. And wave the hands back and forth. Making another fist. This time your thumbs are released. You're making thumb circles. And this is great for my gamers. I know I have at least one friend who plays video games. I don't know how many of you guys do. Let's reverse the direction. And then let's soften the hands down and we'll leave the legs in place for just a few more breaths here. Now, if you like want to get a stretch to your back, you can flip the feet overhead and go into a plow, lifting. No pressure to do that. It's just an option. And if not, just holding the legs in place. We're almost there. And if you're in plow, go ahead and kick those legs back over. And then we'll open our legs into a nice V shape. And then I want you to take and lift up the arms. And then we're going to bring them through our legs. Our fingers are spread nice and wide. And then lift the arms back in the air and then bring the legs back together. And then we're going to repeat that again. We're going to open the legs back into a V, bringing the arms forward between the legs. The fingers are spread open. And then lifting the arms as you bring the legs in. Just soften the hands down and then bend the knees towards our chest. We're going to open into a frog position. Feet are going to turn out and then reach up and grab the feet for a happy baby. Now you can pause right here in just a neutral position, or you can roll your back and forth. You can kick the feet. You can roll the back and kick the feet. You can make circles here. Whatever feels good for you. This is your practice. And again, moving with ease, loosening up your body. Let's let any tension we're holding go. Let's let the stress go. And then we're going to soften those legs down. Arms are going to go overhead. One more full body stretch. And on this full body stretch, go ahead and lift the heels and the hands up. Really reaching. And then we're going to soften our bodies and give ourselves a few breaths of Shavasana rest. Hands are going to splay out, legs are going to splay out, eyes are going to soften. Shoulders are melted into the mat. Now when we're in class, this is usually, ideally I'd like to do 10 minutes of Shavasana. That's not always possible, but at least 5 minutes. But today, because you guys are home and I'm here, I'm not going to keep you down on the mat for a long time. Just want you to just release before we close out our practice. And then go ahead and roll onto your side first. Pausing. And then we'll press up into a fetal position. As always, I really appreciate you sharing your yoga with me. I miss you all, and I hope that we can all be together again soon. Until then, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.